Good day, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of Japan Journal, the #1 online weekly English language cybercast from Japan. I'm your host, Mal Adams. The Jazz Institute of Chicago was founded in 1969 by a small band of jazz fans, writers, club owners, and musicians who came together to preserve the historical roots of the Chicago music. The operating principle was and continues to be based on the recognition that all forms of the music should be equally represented. From the annual Jazz Fair to the Chicago Jazz Festival, JIC has sought to open people's ears to new music by standing the familiar and the unfamiliar side by side. We'll talk to past president of the Jazz Institute of Chicago, Steve Saltzman. Steve will bring us up to date on the latest activities of that historic organization. We here at Japan Journal salute and applaud the efforts of the Jazz Institute of Chicago and the entire community of jazz artists that they represent. Today's program introduces some of the hottest on the scene today in Chicago. Japan Journal caught up with a few of them at the legendary Checkerboard Lounge, the home of blues in Chicago, where we met with the talented Mr. Robert Irving III with his latest project entitled New Momentum. We also visited with the rising piano virtuoso star Bethany Pickens and her debut CD. We saw Greg Spiro, a fantastic new young pianist. And last but not least, the veteran Chicago jazzman Reginald T. McCants will be with us. And we'd like to acknowledge and give credit to jazz trumpeter and vocalist Mr. Chester Clay McSwain for coordinating and producing this week's segment. All this and more coming up right now on Japan Journal, so stick and stay, don't you dare go away, coming at you live right here from the Media Arts Lab in beautiful downtown Kakegawa City. Check it out.
My name is Steve Saltzman. I'm the president of the Jazz Institute of Chicago. The Jazz Institute of Chicago represents the jazz community. We have programmed the Chicago Jazz Festival for its 30 years of existence. We have a wonderful educational program with young folks to help them learn the music and get an opportunity to play and advance themselves. And you heard some of the great young musicians tonight. Greg Ward, the alto saxophonist, and Rick Heath, who's a drummer who's really happening. And some of our great
widely known, this drummer is getting famous.
Yeah, and
I heard about him before.
Great Bobby Irving,
friend of mine from Miles in Tokyo. We met. I reacquainted with him. Thank you very much.
Great musicians in Chicago.
Yes, indeed.
So we try to support the music in all the ways that we can. We've had our connections to Japan. We have a wonderful Japanese musician, Tatsu Aoki, who's who blends great Japanese music and puts it in a jazz vernacular. He's had a project called the Mayumi Project that played before 10,000 people here in Chicago. It was very, very well received.
That's awesome. The Japanese will be happy to hear about this. Tell me this: you making any money for any kind of particular purpose? Where's the money going?
Well, we're a not-for-profit. The Jazz Institute is a not-for-profit.
I was just saying, where's the money going?
So the money goes to support our programs. We try to get money for the musicians and to support the music in town.
And what do you do? The scholarships, and how do you transfer the money to the musicians?
Well, by helping them get gigs, and by we give some mentorship program. We have a mentorship program where a couple, 3 young high school musicians get money so that they can study with the musician of their choice.
That's great. That's a great program, man. Good deal, man. And is that a success?
Yeah, it's been great. We've been having young people play. We have a series called the Made in Chicago series. That's where Tatsu performed in the brand new Millennium Park facility in Chicago. And we have the opening set is our young high school musicians getting up there and doing their thing.
Can you tell me confidently that there's a future for jazz with what you're experiencing with these young people here? Are we in good shape?
We're in beautiful shape. We have 3 generations of musicians, from Von Freeman and Fred Anderson in their 70s and 80s to the next generation, to this group of 20 to 30-year-old musicians, all in Chicago, all at the same time, having been mentored by the 80-year-olds and by the 50-year-olds, and now out here doing their thing.
Well, one particular artist I'm interested in, and I'll speak to her after I do you, but what can you tell me about this, the Pickens father and daughter team? What's up with that?
Willie came here from Milwaukee. He's mid-70s. He's one of the musicians I'm talking about. and his daughter is a monster pianist.
Really, man, I'm dying to meet her. I'm going in there to interview her now.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, she's waiting for me. But I thought I'd check with you first.
No, she's just terrific. She just played a great set at the South Shore. We have an organization, Jazz Unites, which puts on a festival at the South Shore Cultural Center in the south side of Chicago, and she just stole the show with a tremendous performance.
Good to hear that. It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much for chatting with us. All right, buddy. Peace. Robert, a pleasure to see you, my brother.
Oh, man,
it's been a lot of years, man.
It has been.
And what a coincidence that I'd be able to catch you here in Chicago. Tell me about this event you're doing today.
Yeah, playing with my cousin Charles Heath, drummer,
Bad boy, yeah.
Drummer. And we've worked together with Donald Byrd just recently.
Is that right?
And then he went on the tour with Color Purple for the last year. So.
Well, you know, I just told him, I went up and introduced myself, and I said, you know, my brother, Buddy Williams, is in town tonight. Did you know? He said, I'm trying to get him to substitute for me. Now, you know, we know Buddy.
Buddy played on my first album, Midnight Dream, yeah.
See?
Where is he?
He's at the Hilton.
Oh, my goodness.
And I didn't know I was going to see you, man.
And Vince Wilburn is here, Miles' nephew.
That's what I'm telling you now. You know, Vince was on the road with Miles in Japan.
Exactly.
And when you go to my webpage and see the interview, it's going to crack you up, man. Oh, wow. You'll hear Miles like you heard him backstage with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Talking to me.
Right.
He said, man, you should have been a musician because you listened.
Right. That's my
So tell me about the couple of times that we may have crossed paths in Japan. That was what 80?
Like around 84.
84, right, okay.
45.
I was still with CNN at the time.
Yeah.
And he sat for a lengthy interview with me around that time, and then subsequent interviews. But the first time I tried to interview him when I was at CBS, it lasted 90 seconds.
Wow.
For him telling me, man, turn that shit up. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, it could go
and then
either
started
way.
educating me.
It could go either way.
It was amazing, man.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? What's on the horizon?
Well, you know, last year I did a CD, New Momentum, with Buster Williams and drummer by the name of Ernie Adams.
Wow.
Played with Al Di Meola and Randy Lewis.
Okay.
Very well received and a lot of airplay. It was my first venture into the more acoustic, straight ahead realm.
Isn't that interesting? Okay.
Acoustic piano.
What's your preference these days, man? You're straight ahead?
Piano, yeah.
Acoustic piano, man.
Straight ahead.
It's always been your thing.
Yeah.
You're identified by that, you know.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, man. So now, when you were rolling with Miles, you were acting music director, were you not?
Yes, I was. Okay.
Now, how did that work? How was describe your feel from? Because I want to use this segment in the expansion of my DVD on Miles. Well, what can you contribute to me about that experience with Miles?
Well, that happened because first of all, Miles, he confided in me, and he liked to be able to delegate a lot of things. For example, he never liked to attend sound checks or rehearsals. Okay. So he depended on me to get the music arrangements together, rehearse the band. If we would rehearse before a tour, for example, 2 weeks, Miles would only come to the last rehearsal, and we wouldn't play anything we rehearsed.
Of course. You know, I know that.
And so the music would grow and develop on the road. And every night he would record, have the music recorded, and it was my job as musical director, that it was mandatory for me to be in his room after a concert to listen to that entire concert.
Wow.
And he would call elements from that concert that he liked, things that happened spontaneously, and he'd ask me to write the
incorporate that into the next.
Incorporate that into the.
Let me see if I get this clear. He would recognize or see something that occurred spontaneously and want to incorporate that deliberately into the arrangement. That's amazing.
And
so that's
most
live.
of the times when his back was to the audience, he was basically cueing those little fragments and so by the end of a long tour, we'd have a whole new body of music that had been created from just these spontaneous events.
Man, that's fascinating. You mentioned him having his back to the audience. I questioned him about that because that was one of the kind of negative images that he carried with him, and he explained it very clearly on my interview. He said he listens to the sound as it is on the stage and will move around. He said, you might see me playing on one foot trying to resolve that thing I just did. He said, if I'm f***ing it up over here, I'm not going to f*** it up over here, is what he told me. You'll see it on the interview. And is that correct?
And my perspective of it was that he was like a conductor of an orchestra.
Yeah.
Who, of course, has back to the audience.
Yeah.
And so he was always telegraphing just various little rhythmic nuances to the drummer, especially. Some drummers didn't like it so much.
Oh, he's hard on the drummer now.
Yeah,
man, he's told me as much.
Because
But he complimented Vince when he was traveling with Vince, and he said, and my general query to him was about, what's the difference playing in your beloved Japan as opposed to Detroit?
Exactly.
And it set him off, man. He started testifying, you know. He said, I can hear playing all my band and plays better when they're here. He said, I can hear it in my nephews playing, you know.
Yeah.
Which you testified to, huh?
Yeah,
True.
absolutely.
How about you? Is that right?
Yeah. That's
Your experience of playing in Japan, any different feelings or sentiments or emotions or
the Japanese,
comfort zones? Or?
The Japanese were very reserved people in general, but to get a people like the Japanese excited about the music, the way that they were about the house.
Well,
I mean, they invariably, everywhere I go, they'd say, you're playing with God. It's like,
sure.
Just Miles.
Exactly.
But yeah, they revered him that way.
All right, my brother. Well, you are widely revered in Japan as well in your own right. Keep on. Peace and light to you, my brother, and much success. All right, my brother. It's my pleasure. Bye. Tell the people you were right. Hey ladies, you enjoying the show?
Absolutely. It's phenomenal.
Say hi to Japan. This is going to Japan.
Hi Japan. We love you from Chicago.
This is how we do it in Chicago, y'all.
This is how we do it. Oh no, hell no, you said that's me. Oh, you said that's up with the ugly.
Thank you,
we
baby.
on camera.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're sorry.
Always a pleasure. Malcolm and
Baby, I said I was old man.
It's a soul connection. Music is the key.
Don't need no words.
Never forget it.
Tell me my birthday. Tell me happy birthday. Tell Steph happy birthday.
Yeah, we're almost out of tape, man.
And how do you build on it? You gotta compromise and get along with it. But I enjoyed it.
Chicago Jazz Keyboard Coalition.
Oh, indefinitely.
Bass players.
Bass players.
CD, by the way.
All right, so holler at me one quick so we won't run out of tape. Introduce yourself for the Japanese audience.
That's Greg Spiro. That's Reggie T. McCants. That's Bobby Irving. And we're here on the Keyboard Coalition tip at the Checkerboard.
Checkerboard Lounge. Tell me about your new product. Hold it up so I can see that. What's that?
CD. And you know,
Hold it up so I can see it.
And you know, it's my debut CD, and I got Kenny Davis on bass and Kobe Watkins on drums.
You know the Japanese know Kenny.
Oh yeah, you don't know him.
Did you ever
And,
do
know,
Mount Fuji Jazz Festival?
No, I never did.
That's why I met Kenny. Yeah.
So you know, and you know, and we're here, just like giving each other love.
Yeah, see.
You know, this.
Yeah, I know this fella here, man. We haven't
Yeah,
seen each other in
Bobby.
20 years.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, Bobby.
Yeah,
What is it,
that's
man?
New Momentum. That's the latest piece.
Hold it still right there. Yeah.
Got some artwork, some of my own artwork.
hard.
Portraits of Miles.
And it's got a lot of good music on there.
You painting,
As always.
man. I heard you were painting.
Keeping
man.
it consistent.
Yeah. Let me hold that. Let me get this. Beautiful, man.
And this is your copy.
Oh, man. Bless you, my
He
brother.
gonna sign it for you,
Bless
man.
you. Yes, he will. And last but not least. Yeah. Now,
Put your S in there.
introduce me to this.
Put your S in there. Put your S in there. That's Greg Spiro with a lot of hours on
Come on, Greg. Tell me about the product.
Collaborative group called GMG that I put together.
Tell me about the product.
What up, keyboards?
Yeah, right.
Keyboards in the house.
Hell, you got about 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Get it done.
GMG, www.gmgtrio.com. Check out the new disc on iTunes also.
You see that? You see that word?
GW.
Bless you, man. Hold on. But you get the last word, man.
Chicago's finest.
No, I got to thank you for hipping me to this.
And it's a pleasure. My CDs are at home, so I don't have anything for you right now. But that's why I gave them all the camera time, because they represent Chicago, so I have no problem with that.
Well, you get the last
one.
That's my homie, man.
Yeah, he gets the last one.
And that's ReadyTVCans.com.
Chicago is bringing out some of the hottest music.
I've seen more music in 48 hours than I've seen in every month.
And we
in Shizuoka, where I live. Tell them where I live. I have nothing but green tea and rice.
Konnichiwa.
You know what I'm saying? I got to travel 2 hours to go hear the Blue Note Cats. You know.
Chicago.
But you played Nagoya before, haven't you? Yeah. That's closest to me where I live. So when you come back through, holla. You got the card, man. And I'll send you a link for this on my channel. God bless you, man. Thank you.
The nicest, biggest temples, Buddhist temples is in Nagoya.
Oh, yeah. So you chanting, Nam Yo Ring get killed, my brother. Yeah. Herbie comes over and don't even play a note. And run back home, go to the big mountain, you know. Okay. God bless you, man. All right. Light and peace. What you got to say about it, man?
About what, sir?
Whatever the topic that you're most proficient in explaining. What would that be?
Well, there's only one topic for me, and that's music.
Right.
Primarily jazz music.
Okay, we got about 90 seconds.
I've traveled here about 9,000 miles from Egypt just to come and listen.
You Egyptian?
No, I'm British.
What you doing in Egypt? See, y'all got a Lake Victoria up near you. Victoria never had a lake. Nah, I'm just teasing you. Congratulations, man. Thank you very much. All right, man. First, we're rolling. So, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm Leon Albritton, and we're in Chicago at the Chicago Checkerboard Lounge.
Right.
Listen to some of the greatest jazz around the world. Absolutely. As we always do every Sunday here, as we represent it very strong.
Yeah. So the movement is strong, and the prospects for jazz is alive and well.
Yeah. We're coming back. It's making a resurgence, I think, here in Chicago, where we used to have a lot of music, jazz, every day, 24 hours, 7 a.m. all the way through to 4 a.m. every day. But right now, we've slowed down. Chicago's building a lot, coming back. A lot of people that came from Chicago that are jazz musicians are
coming back.
Yeah,
so that's good. That can only be good, man. All right, thanks for your time, man. Good meeting you. Good luck. Hit me with that email and say something in Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
Okay.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's showgram. We thank you very much for watching. We urge you to stick and stay right here on Totown Digital Media's YouTube channel for more exclusive videos from the archives of the Media Arts Lab and Totown Digital Media Archives. We appreciate all your positive comments and urge you to continue commenting. And for those of you who are Miles Davis fans, we ask you to stand by just a little bit longer for that upcoming exclusive Totown DVD documentary on Miles Davis entitled I Remember Miles, featuring interviews by yours truly. And so that's it. We bid you sayonara, take it easy, go again, yo, and Johnny. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.